Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Selling with Corey, where I basically do these sit down video chit chats documenting my print on demand journey with my stores. And today we are doing something a little bit different. As you can see, I have a slightly different background going on right now, and I'm literally sitting down this time. So we are going to talk about listings with Etsy. I'm going to go a little bit in depth, step by step, mainly on how to do it. Not quite sure if we're going to be able to do visuals with this, but at least do a talk through with you on it. If I do any visuals, I will probably try to put some sort of picture up somewhere to show you where I'm going with this, and we'll see how things go. So I do have a couple of listings that I currently have in my draft for my Etsy shop. We are going to start with Printful with everything. So if you're using Printful like I am, first thing you're going to want to do is go to your stores, and then obviously you're going to want to click on the store that you want to add your listing to. And you can do this one of two ways when it comes to adding your listing. You can either just click add product at the top, or you can go ahead and go into your mockups, well, your product templates is what it's called, and you can insert it into the store straight from there. So I usually go to stores and then I choose a store that I want, and I'll go that way to add the product. And then when you go to add the product, you can obviously do it through your product templates if you already have it created, or you can literally create one right then and there. So the nice thing is when you go through this, you also get to edit everything as you go through. So once you get all of your stuff done, you can choose all of your mockups. Then they'll have you go ahead and fill out your description if you want to do it then and there, and have you fill out your prices as well before you post it to your store. Now it does take a little bit of time for things to integrate through, obviously, so you're going to want to make sure that you give it a little bit of time to sync up with your store. And today we're obviously going to do our Etsy store. Now I like to make things a little bit easier for myself when I go to post these. I usually fill out the descriptions and obviously get the mockups beforehand. That way I have those all ready and set to go. Now I know when you go through a lot of your e-rankings, they like to recommend that you do at least 10 photos to basically max out all of those photos that you have. Now Printful, you can always go back as long as you have it set into your templates to redo the photos. So right now I am going to essentially go in and I am going to my templates, and I'm going to go ahead and print out some more mockups for this particular shirt that I am posting up to my Etsy shop. So you can obviously choose, they have a bunch of different designs, they have a bunch of different models that you can put it on. I usually typically have just been using theirs. If you want to, you can use other ones, but obviously you have to pay for those services. So keep that in mind when you go to make sure to do all of that. Well, the nice thing is that with some of these models, you can choose different angles of the model with that print. If you want, I typically just choose one. And then you can choose to make it PNG files or JPG files. I typically will use the JPG just because it makes it easier to go ahead and load up your store so you don't have a million and one things going on at once. Now you want to go ahead and generate your mockups at that point, and then you want to download your mockups, and that'll show up in your download file. I'll move this right back to the right screen. So I'm just going to take these files and copy them, put them into my picture folder, let them paste for a moment before I go back to my Etsy shop to upload those pictures. So I'm just uploading all those pictures. If I want them to be unisex, I'll obviously do a picture of a female and then picture of a male. That way they can kind of see it on both models, and I will link up the colors together. So right now all I'm doing is I am just adjusting those pictures to have them in the order that I want, and then I'm going to adjust my thumbnail based on how close I want it to be to the graphic design itself to make it a little bit more clear and kind of upfront and focused for the customer to see. So once that's done, it's going to come down and it's going to start asking us about the listing. Now, when it asks you who made it, obviously if you're going through Printful, you want to make sure to select another person or company. Now, this part I did not know until probably about 2 weeks into doing this, just because nobody ever talks about it. Nobody ever goes super in depth on how things work so that you know. So I made sure to change all of my listings once I found out that you have to tell Etsy that you're doing it through Printful. I made sure to go in and change everything at that point. Now, we can get a little bit more in depth on how to set that up in a later video. This one's just going to talk about obviously how things work out and that whole getting your listing set up part. But you want to make sure that you don't say it's handmade, because it clearly is not handmade. It is made by a company or person. You can make it to where your customers will see that or not. That is completely up to you if you want to. I basically have it set to private as to who makes the shirts, and just have it set up to say that I don't do it myself. I have a company that does it, since I don't have the machinery or any of the stuff in order to do it, or the manpower, obviously. So it's going to automatically choose category for you, so you don't have to worry about any of that. This size and primary color obviously will be set up through Printful based on whatever you choose. It'll be a drop down box when the listing is posted in order to let your customer know that it has options at that point. So you also have the option to go ahead and put it under holiday or occasion. So all of my Halloween designs I have set under the Halloween holiday. And then once I start to do Christmas, I will put all of those obviously under the Christmas holiday to make it easier for people to choose. Now, when it comes to your description, it's 100% completely up to you what you would like to put in there. I like to fill that out on the Printful side of things to make things on the Etsy side a little bit quicker, which is nice. So like I said, obviously it's up to you where you want to do that, but make sure you have some sort of stuff in your description. For the longest time, I literally just let it do whatever Printful had and I didn't worry about it. But my recommendation would be to definitely personalize it yourself based on what you're looking for, so that you have all of that taken care of. Now, because you've chosen for it to be done by another company or person, you are obviously going to have to tell Etsy who does it. So in my case, I will select the Printful box, since Printful is the one that makes everything. Like I said, their customers won't see it if you have it set to private. It's completely up to you how you'd like that to look on their end, but you always have to tell Etsy who made it. And if it's by another company, make sure you select Printful if that's who you're going through. So you can also, if you have sections set up, you can put it in your sections. I do have sections set up in my shop, so I'm going to select the section I want to put it in. And then you have the option of putting in 13 tags. So I like to make sure to fill out my tags and make sure that it's got something pertaining to what that shirt has on the design, to kind of help make it easier for customers to find it. So you get 13 tags to be able to do that with. Each tag can only be 20 characters long, so keep that in mind when you're doing that, and try to make it as diverse as possible. Now, Printful automatically fills out everything else. So for example, they will have all of the shipping times filled out for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Now the price, if you chose to do that on the Printful end, will automatically come up the price that you are looking for. If you do it on your end, obviously you can do that through on your side with every single one if you'd like to do that. It's completely up to you where you want to fill that out. Now, like I said, Printful does automatically have it filled out, the category for the shipping times and everything. The one thing they did not fill out for you is basically how long it takes for things to process. So it will not put out how many days it takes to process. I have on my listing set for 2 to 7 business days for processing time, just because that's typically on Printful's end how long it takes them. So I like to make sure that I am coinciding with theirs, so that obviously that we don't have any disappointed customers on our end. And then once everything is said and done, you hit publish, a pop-up will come up and Etsy will let you know that there is a 20 cents deductible. They obviously do charge 20 cents per listing and 20 cents every time you renew it. Now in your listing, you will have the option for it to automatically renew or manually renew. I personally have mine set up to manually renew because I like to see how the designs are going to do before I decide if I want to keep them a permanent addition of my shop. Now, those renews will end every 4 months. So keep that in mind when you put it up, that in 4 months those listings will go inactive, and then you can choose from there whether or not you would like to activate them again. And that is pretty much going step by step how you can integrate things from Printful to Etsy and to fill out your listing. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you all next time. Bye.